exactly. Like, well, what's going to fit? I took 12 weeks. It's going to take us 650, 600, but for the 12 weeks, hopefully it's a really good way. I'm probably going to lose my raise loss this week. But that loss is going to take like a second. It's great. What do you know?
Good afternoon to everybody. On behalf of the College of DuPage Faculty Association, we would like to welcome you to the Mackinac Arts Center. In addition to myself, my name is David Goldberg. I'm the president of the College of DuPage Faculty Association. I also want to introduce Susan Purcell, who's the president of the DuPage Adjunct Association. And we are so excited to host so many exciting educators, IEA educators, here today. When we discuss candidates who are running for the Board of Trustees internally in our process, we like to keep two things in mind. The first is that we want candidates who support public education, and we want people that will support collective bargaining rights. At a time when higher education is under attack, along with the students we serve, we know we have a fighter in JB Pritzker. The Pritzker administration has a long list of accomplishments supporting unions, from stopping local governments on right-to-work laws to the Worker Rights Amendment, and most recently, supporting allowing rideshare drivers to unionize. Unions know they have a friend in Springfield. That means a lot to our sisters and brothers in classified staff as they enter their 10th month of no contract. Classified staff deserve a fair contract for the first time, and a COLA. Their cost of living has not kept pace with inflation, and we are in one of the wealthiest places in the state of Illinois, and that's not okay. The COD administration needs to quit their foot dragging and pay the people who make this place run every damn day. Whether it's the violence in our communities from extra-legal ICE raids, attacks on academic freedom, attempts to erase trans people and roll back women's rights, Governor Pritzker has shown a willingness to fight the aspiring authoritarians in the White House. Going forward, higher education in Illinois needs continued help with college affordability and addressing the recent federal court ruling striking down our ability to offer in-state tuition to undocumented students. We look forward to continuing the fight alongside the strong leadership in Springfield of Governor Pritzker. Full-time faculty at COD will be negotiating a new contract later this fall, and we are ready for that fight. Finally, I wish to extend our gratitude to Joe Hopper, Manager of Events Production here at the MAC, and Diana Martinez. Diane is the Executive Director of the MAC, and on very short notice, on vacation in some circumstances, they made this happen in a way that we're really, really proud to be a part of this and to be able to host this event. I'd like to introduce our first speaker, and then all the rest of our speakers, Victoria Bynum. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon. My name is Victoria Bynum, and I am about to embark on my 22nd year of teaching. Throughout my career, I've worked with students of varying backgrounds and abilities, but I've always taught the age I'm most passionate about, early childhood. Birth through age 5 are some of the most critical years for development, yet historically, access to quality early childhood programming has not been available to a great number of families in this country. One of Governor Pritzker's priorities has been to expand access to quality early childhood programs for all young children. The growth that happens between ages 3 and 5 is immense. Children in school during these years become autonomous in ways they haven't been before. They grow in independence, learn to be members of communities outside of their families, explore new ideas, take risks, and work with peers to share, negotiate, and resolve conflict. They develop self-regulation with the support of teachers and peers, and their confidence soars. Early academic skills are developed as well as physical growth. It is truly the whole child that is developed. Throughout my career, I've watched children walk into kindergarten at 5 years old without any of these experiences. They struggle to transition, self-regulate, and move independently through tasks. They have to learn how to be a member of the school community before they can even begin kindergarten academics. They need to catch up before they can move forward. Early childhood programming is also critical in developing belonging and the capacity to understand others. Having worked in 4 different school districts, I've served families of varying cultural, racial, religious, economic, and language backgrounds, families of varying ability and structure. I've experienced what our state embodies, diversity in every capacity. Inclusion and representation are key to educational outcomes. Children need to see themselves in the books in our schools. When other states banned books and schools had to fight for access to materials that represent their communities, we didn't skip a beat. Governor Pritzker led the country in protecting that vital resource before reactionary book banning policies ever touched our classrooms. While other teachers spent valuable time and energy fighting for equal representation, we never had to. We stay focused on our children. Governor Pritzker's investment in early childhood education is an investment in the future of Illinois. His leadership in protecting our schools from exclusionary book bans builds belonging for every child in our community. I know he will continue to fight for our public schools, early childhood programming, and support teachers. Governor Pritzker has my full support. And now I'd like to introduce Melissa Mortensen.
Hi, my name is Melissa Mortensen, and I teach political science here at COD. I am a first-generation college student who was able to go to college because of the Illinois Monetary Award Program, or MAP grant. For decades, funding for this program has stagnated. Since Pritzker has become governor, program funding has increased to over $720 million. That's almost double. He has made the program a central part of his higher education affordability agenda. And for community colleges, this is especially important because our tuition is much lower, meaning that the MAP award can and does often cover the entire tuition and fees, as it did for me when I was a community college student. Additionally, tens of thousands more students are now eligible, including many of mine. Governor Pritzker also supported expanding MAP eligibility beyond traditional degree programs to more than 2,000 short-term credit-bearing certificate programs, allowing students to pursue workforce credentials and receive state financial aid. This is what supporting education looks like. But there's an Irish saying that a good start is half the work. And by that I mean our K-12 schools, whose funding formula was deeply flawed for many years. It meant districts with wealthy tax bases had beautiful new campuses, the latest technology, and well-equipped sports teams and could attract top talent. And the rest of us had to make do, as if our children didn't deserve the same opportunities because of their zip code. I am also a Berwyn North District 98 school board member, and because Governor Pritzker has significantly expanded Illinois' investment in evidence-based funding for K-12 schools, my Berwyn schools have benefited. It is a large part of the reason our district is not in debt anymore. Last year, one of our elementary schools received a rating of exemplary, a rating designated for the top 10% of schools in Illinois. No doubt the very hard work of students, staff, and faculty, but we couldn't do it without proper funding. And Pritzker has consistently proposed and supported substantial increases in state funding for our EBF since taking office. Under his administration, annual EBF funding has increased from approximately $2 billion to almost $9 billion this past year. We still have work to do, to continue to fund our K-12 schools, to continue to increase funding for high school graduates who want to pursue higher ed. Of course, I would suggest free community college, but we need JB Pritzker in order to continue this work. And I am proud that my union, the Illinois Education Association, stands behind elected officials that stand up for education. Thank you. And now Stephanie.
Muy buenas tardes, good afternoon, IEA members, leaders, candidates, JB Pritzker and Christian Mitchell, and friends of public education. My name is Stephanie Chavez, and I am an aspiring educator here from the suburbs of Chicago. I also have the privilege of serving as the National Aspiring Educators Chairperson for the NEA. It is a great honor to stand at College of DuPage, my alma mater, in support of the re-election of Governor JB Pritzker. As someone who is getting ready to enter the teaching profession, I understand firsthand the challenges and barriers that college students are facing, affordability being among the most common. At a time when we so desperately need passionate and dedicated young people to choose teaching, Governor Pritzker has continuously expanded access to higher education by making more Illinois students eligible for federal tuition aid. His advocacy has made it possible for aspiring educators to continue to enroll in our teacher preparation programs and choose teaching. Personally, he has given me, a future educator and IEA member, the peace of mind in knowing that educators will be a continuous priority under his leadership. Like many of my colleagues and mentors, teaching to me is a true calling that I carry with great pride and responsibility. I proudly answered that calling when I first felt it, while also recognizing the many challenges educators face. Governor Pritzker's proven leadership and continued partnership, however, have made it easier for me to follow that calling with confidence and hope for the future. While we know there is so much work to do and progress to be made, JB Pritzker is the partner that IEA needs in order to make the future of education one that our students deserve and one that college students can continue to pursue. I look forward to the continued partnership that begins in Springfield but reaches every student in every corner of our state. Thank you, Governor Pritzker and Christian Mitchell, and thank you, IEA, for partnering with leaders that value, protect, and defend those who have chosen the most noble profession. Thank you, and with that, I have the honor of introducing my Vice President of the Illinois Education Association, Ms. Gina Harris.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gina Harris, Vice President of the Illinois Education Association, and I have the privilege today of introducing someone we know well at IEA, and someone who has been standing with educators and working families in Illinois for a long time. IPACE, our member-led political action committee, is proud to support Christian Mitchell for Lieutenant Governor of Illinois. Many of us have known Christian since his time in the Illinois House. And when I say we know him, I don't just mean we know his record, we know where he stood when it mattered. When the former governor tried to make Illinois a right to work for less state, Christian stood with workers and unions. When Illinois desperately needed a fairer way to fund our public schools, Christian worked to change a system that allowed a child's zip code to determine the opportunities available to them. And throughout his career, he has continued to work on the things that matter to our members and to the communities we serve. Strong public schools, affordable higher education, safe communities, access to health care, and an Illinois where working people can build good lives for themselves and their families. Those things matter to us because public education does not exist separate from our communities. Our students come through our doors carrying everything happening in the world around them. So we need leaders who understand that supporting public education means supporting educators, education support professionals, students, families, and the communities we all call home. Christian has been that kind of leader. We knew we could work with him when he was in the legislature. We knew we could count on him to listen, to engage, and to stand with us on the issues that matter. And we are excited about what it will mean to have that kind of partner serving as Lieutenant Governor. So all here, please join me in giving a big welcome to someone who has stood with us and someone we are proud to stand with now. Christian Mitchell, the next Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Illinois.
Well, good afternoon, IEA. Good afternoon. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all look good. Do you feel good? Yeah. I want to thank Vice President Harris for that incredibly kind introduction and for all that she does in leading this great union. I'm honored to receive your endorsement and to be here with all of you today. And I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you for the sacrifices you make for our students month after month and year after year. Thank you for the times when you bought school supplies with your own money or stayed after school without receiving pay to make sure your students stay on track. I see you and I am grateful for you. Through your belief in your students, your investment in them. You teach them to believe in and invest in themselves. You work hard to give them room to dream, to imagine a future and believe it's theirs to build, and then you give them the tools to achieve it. For my own mother, a single mom, a NICU nurse, working long shifts and doing everything she could to give me a shot, making sure I had a high-quality education was non-negotiable. And she made it clear that excellence was the standard. But even with my mother's determination, I wouldn't be standing here without the educators who helped me find my confidence and hit my stride. Educators like my high school English teacher, Mrs. Fredrickson, who noticed early on that I'd already finished the reading list. Now, she could have let me coast, but instead she gave me supplemental books. She spent time discussing them with me after school and asked me open-ended questions to expand my mind and make me think. She gave me additional writing assignments. Importantly, she poured confidence into me and helped me find my own voice. As I speak with all of you today, the confidence that she instilled in me is still with me. My professor in college, Professor Sheikh, completely shifted how I see the world. Through her course in environmental economics, I built a new lens, one that recognized that the flooded basements and high utility bills that had become the norm on the south side of Chicago weren't just the way it is. They were choices made by the powerful. They were policy failures that could be fixed. The framework she gave me, the connections between climate and environment and community and economic development, they animated my time as a community organizer and later guided my approach years later when I was lead strategist on the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act under Governor Pritzker. So that knowledge in her classroom ended up being transformed directly into tens of billions of dollars invested in our community in Illinois with a special focus on communities of color. So it might be JB's name and my name on this endorsement, but speaking for myself, none of my success today happens without those teachers' lessons yesterday. My mom fought for me to get a high-quality education. And then those high-quality educators, they changed my life. But let me state the obvious. Parents shouldn't have to fight to get their kids a good education. That's why, as a state representative, I was proud to be a leader in the fight to reform our broken education funding formula, to pass evidence-based funding and direct billions of new dollars to the schools that need them the most. That's why, as a state representative, I passed a bill through both houses to raise the teacher minimum to address our teacher shortage. Now here's something to get happy about, because this is the difference a governor makes. When Bruce ran that bill, I went out and worked to get us a new governor who would sign it. And when that bill hit JB's desk, it became law. Because we know firsthand what happens when a student gets the education they deserve and when every classroom gets the teacher that all kids deserve. And I know that every kid in Illinois deserves that same chance no matter their zip code. And that's why the IEA is so vital and so important. For over 170 years, since 1853, the IEA has been fighting for educators so that you can focus on fighting for students. So you can focus on the work in front of you instead of being consumed by the obstacles working against you. And you have my word. JB and I will continue to fight alongside you each and every day to improve our schools and invest in our children. And we want to thank you for the high honor of your support and your endorsement. With that, President Gakey, I'm going to hand it over to you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Carl Gakey, and I'm the president of the Illinois Education Association, the largest union in the state of Illinois. I'm here today to announce that IEA's political arm, the Political Action Committee for Education, or IPACE, is recommending JB Pritzker for governor of Illinois. The future of public education is facing a critical moment. There are efforts nationwide to weaken this core tenet of American values. For 2 centuries, free and universal public education has been the foundation for our youth to achieve something better than the generation before them and to sustain our democracy. That's why we are supporting JB, a candidate who supports public education and those who work in it. a candidate who stands on the right side of history. JB signed the $40,000 minimum teacher salary. When I started teaching in 2002, I made approximately $27,000 annually. After 5 years, I made $39,000 annually. It took 5 years of experience and 2 years earning a master's degree for me to break that $40,000 threshold. JB signed the law that prevented that from happening. Thank you, JB. JB also banned book bans in our state. Free speech, the ability to speak and read freely, to open our minds to other countries, other galaxies, other customs, diverse ideas, the history of our world is protected by the United States Constitution. And no book banners have ever been on the right side of history. This governor trusts parents and teachers to guide students' reading, and we're grateful for that. This summer, JB signed a bill removing cell phones from classrooms and schools. Study after study, experience after experience has shown us that cell phones can be distracting and destructive to young minds. In my classroom, my back pocket served as a cell phone jail for my students. If I found them on their phones in class, they would hand their phone over. I would collect them, drop them in my back pocket, and return them at the end of the period. It's one of the few times I have had thousands of dollars in my pockets in my life. That will no longer be a concern for educators, allowing them to concentrate on teaching and allowing students to concentrate on learning. But that's not all we have realized with JB. JB has increased the minimum wage. He's improved the state's bond rating. He's pushed for better funding for the state's pension systems. He's ushered more money into the evidence-based funding formula every budget year, and he's supported a measure to study adjunct pay. Thank you. And that's not all. That's not all. He's made the largest investment ever in early childhood education in Illinois. He's expanded vocational training and career and technical training in high school. He's doubled MAP grants and increased other scholarships to make college more affordable. He's funded new construction at Illinois community colleges and universities. He's helped increase the number of Illinois students eligible for federal tuition aid. And he ended Illinois voucher programs. This governor is on the right side of history, which means a better future for public education in Illinois, for students, for those who work within the walls of schools from pre-K through college. And we look forward to continuing down this productive path with JB, a path that allows all those who work in the schools in Illinois at every level to have a safe and dignified career and a safe and dignified retirement. Everyone, please join me in welcoming JB Pritzker, the next governor of Illinois.
Thank you. Oh, I love teachers and paraprofessionals. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carl. Thank you for that very kind introduction, and of course for your outstanding leadership. I really am so honored to accept the endorsement of the Illinois Education Association. Look, I want to recognize also Vice President Gina Harris. What a kind, gentle, and genuine person she is. Thank you for your leadership. As well, Victoria, Melissa, Stephanie, so many people here who have put your heart and soul into teaching, into educating our children, into making the state a better place to live. Thank you for sharing your stories with us today and for your kind words. Look, I would not be here were it not for public education. My family arrived here in this country when a 9-year-old Ukrainian boy named Nicholas Pritzker escaped the pogroms of the Russian Empire. My family would have been killed if not allowed to come to the United States. He arrived in Chicago, penniless, and he spoke no English. A social service agency gave him a place to live. A public school gave him a free public education. He learned English by going to public school. He put himself through college and then through graduate school, and then he sent his 3 kids to public school. This country gave my family refuge from anti-Semitic killings and oppression, and there's nearly no place else in the world where in just a single lifetime, a public education would take you from utter poverty to attaining the American dream. And in just a few generations, one of their descendants would eventually become governor of this great state. Today, there are about 50 million public school students in the United States. The bedrock of our democracy is an educated citizenry. Our nation's past success has been because of public education, and our future depends upon it. As teachers, you hold that outcome in your hands, and it's time that our nation's leaders acted like it. Now, this is why, in the face of Donald Trump and the MAGA movement's attack on public education, I have not bent. Donald Trump is trying to destroy public education. He laid off nearly half of the staff of the Department of Education at the federal level. He got rid of people responsible for providing resources to Title I schools, rural schools, special education. And then he put a pro wrestling executive in charge of the department. Someone who honestly doesn't even know what AI is. She called it A1. Now Trump's got Head Start in his crosshairs. Head Start. It's the program that levels the playing field for low-income students and improves the quality of the K-12 educational experience for kids, for teachers, and for parents. Cuts to SNAP and Medicaid affect your work too. How many of you have seen the look in a student's eye when they haven't eaten before school? How many of you have had to teach in front of a class with a student who clearly needs a doctor but hasn't been able to see one? When the government abdicates its responsibility to children, well, that responsibility doesn't go away. It just shifts, and more often than not, it falls on our teachers. Then there's the problem of, well, organized conservative extremists trying to take seats on the school board so that they get to decide who can teach based on their religious beliefs, or so they can ban books about history they don't like, or they can whitewash curriculums. And unfortunately, that brings me to my opponent. Darren Bailey is an existential threat to public education in Illinois. We don't have to wonder what his vision for education is. We've seen it through the grammar school that he and his wife started. That school's curriculum teaches that evolution isn't real, that slave owners were kind to their slaves, that women entering the workforce have been harmful to America. Darren Bailey even supported local officials banning books in schools. People like why I enacted a ban on book bans in Illinois. The world that Darren Bailey and his allies in the MAGA movement offer is something out of the 1920s. It would be a disaster for public education, a disaster for pluralism, frankly, a disaster for our democracy. He would wreak havoc on education in Illinois, a time when we have the opportunity to build on the historic success that we already had because of the teachers standing behind me today. When I became governor 7.5 years ago, it was clear that our state was failing our teachers. We were asking you to do the most important work there is, while making it harder and harder for you to do it. So I got to work, and as you heard Carl say, I quadrupled the minimum salary for new teachers. And better than that, we indexed it to inflation. I also created a targeted program to hire and retain teachers in Illinois. Through that program, we've hired more than 12,000 new teachers during this past school year. In concert with IEA's Educator pipeline, we're helping more and more people become successful and seek meaningful teaching careers. And today, we have more teachers and paraprofessionals in the state of Illinois than we've ever had before, ever. For 25 years, before I was elected governor, I championed early childhood education, and I've continued that work as governor. To support the youngest learners, I created recently the Department of Early Childhood, and we launched the Smart Start initiative, which has created 11,000 more publicly funded preschool slots for Illinois kids, and we're on our way to universal preschool in Illinois. Together with the General Assembly, I increased K-12 funding by almost $3 billion per year, bringing it to the highest level in Illinois history, with much more to come. And because of record investments, because of that, including the 80% increase in need-based aid, virtually all students at or below median income now can attend any one of our 48 Illinois community colleges tuition-free, including right here at the College of DuPage. And in part because of your advocacy, I was able to pass the bell-to-bell cell phone ban that teachers and students alike will benefit from. Look, more teachers, more funding, more kids focused in classrooms. Now let's talk about the results for our students. Well, guess what? Illinois has the 5th most students in the nation passing the AP exams. Our 8th grade math and reading scores are among the top 10 in the nation. Illinois now has the highest high school graduation rate in recorded history. And let me also emphasize that we have the highest graduation rate for Black students in recorded Illinois history. Oh, I forgot one more. We now have the highest graduation rate for Latino students in history. Ever FAFSA completion rate, meaning that more of our students can get discounted or free college tuition when they want to go to college. IEA, you prove every single day that there is nothing that our students aren't capable of when we give them a great teacher and a fair shot. So let's keep building on that momentum. Let's pay teachers what you're worth. Let's fund our schools properly and let's secure our future. And that means we've got to fight like hell for our kids. So I got one question for all of you. Are you ready for the fight? Yeah! IEA, are you ready for the fight? Let's go get them, everybody. Thank you all very much.